Hi, everybody. My name is Hong-Yuan Lee from National Taiwan University. It has been the second time as a keynote speaker I attend the conference. But unfortunately, because of COVID, I cannot make it physically in San Jose this time. So I had to pass through online and hope everybody has a good conference and enjoy my speech. Thank you. Because in the past, we always claim AI, smart city, and with all the modern technology, then we find out that we can be very smart. But I always challenging the content of so-called smart city. You claim you are so smart, but the flood comes, it's get flooded. So you are not smart at all. So I'm promoting the concept called resilient city. With all those fancy AI staff, then we have to make sure the city is safe, is waterproofing. And so that even when disaster comes or the flood comes, we still can maintain certain quality of living and make sure everybody is safe. For example, the flood in Zhengzhou last month. It was a very modern city. And actually, the Chinese government, they say, "Oh, we are very smart. We don't have to use cash, everything online." But turn out that you got flooded, then the whole system crashed. So that means, yes, smart is one thing, and resilience is more important. That's why I pick up the content to share with. I think IEEE, most of the people that you are in electronic or in AI. And I'm one of the few hydraulic engineers. So we share how can we redesign our city. I call it water sensitive urban planning and design. How can we redesign the city during so-called global climate change? And that then we put AI in that, then it can be smart and can be resilient. And we do have some successful experience in Taiwan, and I would like to share with all the audience. So that's the purpose I picked this topic to share with the audience of the conference. The resilient city itself, actually, the project is not big, but there are so many cutting edge problems. That means there are, academic-wise, there are three disciplines involved: agriculture, urban planning, and water. So we need interdisciplinary dialogue. And we redesign the city. Actually, there are at least three ministries involved in the central government level. And in the city government level, there are at least 5 bureaus involved. So how to work as a team, actually that's the best, that's the biggest challenge. And actually how to work as a team is not a culture of any government. For example, in Taiwan, the ministry, usually we do not necessarily talk to each other. Even the United States, your FEMA never talk to your house and urban department. In China, the house and urban ministry never talk to water resources ministry. So actually, there's a cultural problem. How to work as a team. So I always promote two concepts. It's called interagency coordination and the interdisciplinary dialogue. So actually, the resilient city or the smart city itself, technical-wise, is not difficult at all. But how to work as a team is the largest challenge. And not to mention that from the city level, there are so many laws and regulations. In a water basin, at least 20 laws can be applied in this basin. And law, they conflict with each other. So who is going to step in to solve the cutting edge problem? That's the largest challenge. Technically, it's not challenging at all. I have spent at least 10 years working on this topic. I think we put in so many PhD students, so many master students. So technical wise, we got a handbook, we got everything. But come to the implementation level, how to work as a team, actually it's the largest challenge. And also in the university, how can we train a student having the capacity that he has an interdiscipline capacity? That's also a little bit difficult. For the case, my students, he's a hydraulic engineer, but he has to go to the urban planning school to learn how to design the city, and a little bit difficult for the students. So I will, again, two keywords: interagency coordination and interdiscipline dialogue. That's the challenge. I think the challenging again is the interdiscipline. You need the big data. Actually, you have to have a lot of gauging station, collecting enough data. You have to do monitoring, and you need the numerical simulation to have all the scenario. And based on the scenario, then you set up the standard operation procedure for different government agency. And then even to the building itself, how to manage, how to operate. So I would say it's based on the big data and the decision supporting system and the standard operation procedure, because it's not a research, because people do live in the building, people do live in the city. And what if the disaster comes or the flood comes, and how can they perform? How can they keep safe? So the monitoring, the analysis, and there are so many software has to be developed. And this software is not familiar to most of the existing technology. For example, for the case in Taiwan, I was the one who collect all the data, and I established the standard operation procedure for typhoon, or in the United States, we call it hurricane. How to make sure that no matter how strong the typhoon is, we can manage the disaster and reduce the casualty. So it turned out we have a very big success. We dropped the casualty into almost zero, no matter how strong the hurricane is. And so against the resilient city, although we are dealing with different kinds of disaster, but logically and technically and conceptually, actually we are doing a very similar things. So the data collection, monitoring, decision supporting system, and have this implementation level, standard operation procedure, and we have to run a series of drills, make sure different level of government agency or NGO and NPO, and even the people himself during the emergencies time, how can they perform? We have to realize that there are so many disciplines involved, and how to train the government officer, have the enough technical background to realize the problem of the city or of the county. And then for the young researcher, can tell you that one discipline can never solve the problem. So how to make sure you have the interdiscipline training so that you can prepare yourself for the future market. And then for the government officer, that you have to change the law and regulation. Otherwise, it can never be implemented. Like in Taiwan, when I used to be the Minister of the Interior, I try to promote, we call it low impact development or resilient city. Then the problem is, actually it's not familiar to most of my staff, because they either trained as a hydraulic engineer or either trained as an urban planner. They don't have interdiscipline trainings. So actually the training for the government officer is very important. And who is going to prepare the curriculum? It's the university professor. But university professor, we don't have the training either. So we have to train ourselves, then make the new topic for our students. Then we come out with the curriculum. And then we train the government officer. Then we develop a new market, new projects. Then everything goes. So I would say the university plays a very important role. We have to develop curriculum. We have to set the norm. And then the government can apply accordingly. And then it becomes an industry. Then everything changes. So always university play a very important role.